kick it off. This is TD and Mitchell, Jacob Dalton, here to talk about the ICF house in Gig Harbor that we built. We wanted to talk about this and kind of show you guys what we experienced. There was a real severe cold storm that passed through Gig Harbor, and it happened to coincide with the dates that the occupants were away from this home and had turned their Nest smart thermostat system off. So throughout the 10 days that they were gone, the heat in the house was off, and during that same time frame, we got really cold weather and a lot of snow. So starting on the 1st, is that where we started?
Yeah, February 1st.
Yeah.
That's when the vacation started.
One interesting thing we brought up is the temperature inside the house starts at 67. That's because the home is heated by the concrete floor through a radiant system. And 67 degrees, if you've ever been in a radiant home or a radiant home system, is pretty warm at 5 feet off the ground, which is where these thermostats were installed. Because you can imagine the floor itself, the concrete floor, is warmer than at 5 foot level. So 67 degrees is pretty warm. So that's where we start off at on the 1st. And as we march through, you can see as we move across the 1st, that's at 2 a.m. on February 1st, 2019. The inside air temperature is 66 degrees. The outside low looks like 43.
Yeah, 43.
And a 49. So as we go down the line on the 2nd, the temperature inside drops by roughly 4 degrees. And it will continue to drop until it gets to right around what we saw, 54 degrees, where it stabilizes for some reason, which was really interesting. I have no idea why. The only heat that we could figure out that it was going on in the house where any heat source could have been coming off would be the refrigerator, which we looked at the what is that called? Not BTUs, but what doesn't provide a lot of heat. So for some reason, the entire house, not just the kitchen, but the entire home, which is 40, what is it, Jake? 4,700 square feet?
Yeah, it's about 43 inside wall.
So 4,300 square feet, all maintained a interior temperature of 54 degrees, which it hit roughly 5 days after the home was empty. So it dropped by roughly 12 degrees over that week.
See the temperatures, the lows at night were extremely cold.
Yeah.
For this area.
Yeah, one of which got down to 17 degrees outside temperature, with the inside temperature still at roughly 54, 53.7.
Yeah.
And then on the 11th at around 2 a.m., midnight, somewhere in there is when we turned the heat back on. So then you see it starting to climb from 52.5 up to 52.7. But it basically stagnates around the mid 50s, low 50s towards the end. The last day they were getting down to 52 degrees, with the outside air temperature of a low of 17 in the nighttime, and around freezing 32 degrees in the daytime.
Yeah, and so what everybody's looking at here is this is sensor data from the Nest thermostats themselves. So here's the raw data from one of the thermostats here. You can see everything is logged by the Nest. Here's the 1st of February. It's logged every half an hour, essentially. So we've broken this down to make it easier to do a comparison with 2 a.m. temperature inside, and then a midday noon temperature as the day warmed up, just to show what the temperatures are like inside the home at these times as the temperature is dropping outside. So here's a compilation of all this data, just compiled into one thing here. So Yeah, so the temperatures didn't fluctuate past 55.
No, and what's really interesting, Jake and I were talking about doing this same test, but we were going to do it inside of the mezzanine, the office mezzanine, because there's fewer windows. And that was our concern, is that we wouldn't get a good test inside the home because there's so many windows. And the windows obviously don't have as high of an R value as our walls do. I think the windows are R23.
They have a U value is how they measure those, and it's a U 0.30, and it's just a standard window.
Yeah.
Argon filled, insulated.
And we have a ton of windows. I mean, that house is just full of windows, and they're big windows. I think we've got 3 big 18-foot
slider
4-panel windows that go across the front, the west-facing side. And then all of the windows have clerestory windows above them. So there's a ton of windows that we were concerned would throw this test off. But what's interesting is it did a really good job and happened to coincide with some really bad weather. Anything else we should bring up about that?
No, nothing I can think of. Just a really well-performing house.
Yeah.
These insulated walls.
One thing we have here on the list, the ICF MA report in comparison. I think the biggest thing there is that ICF MA test, they did not, what did they have? I can't remember, but they didn't have any temperature reduction for, I think, 2 full days.
Yeah,
and then
it was just a solid wall.
Just,
right?
Yeah, but that was just a solid wall, no windows. So that on that test, they had no temperature loss for the first 2 days, and then I think it was performing at an R85 until day 14 or 10 or something like that. And then towards the end, they saw the R23 that's normally attributed to that concrete. So in this situation, if that would have done that, then we would have seen, without the windows, we would have seen this home hold its temperature for the first 2 days and then drop really slowly over the next 14 days. So what we saw was it dropped to roughly a mid-50s range and for some reason held there, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that can be attributed to the outside temperature staying consistent, and then it would rise to about 30 degrees. So it wasn't dropping drastically to 17 until the very end of the week.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
But man, that is performing pretty well. Mid-50s all week. Basically at 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Mm-hmm. We're only seeing drops to 54, 53 degrees on the interior with 0 heat on since before the first of the month. And
this home, just for comparative purposes, and we might shoot this video later, it's been, even through the freezing temperatures, it's been coming on for about an hour every morning.
The heat?
Yeah, and then shutting off for the rest of the day. So the home is really performing well. The temperature or the floor reading heats the floor for about an hour every morning, and then it's off the rest of the day. So that even just that little bit of heat being removed, it's amazing that it didn't drop below 50 degrees with an outside air temperature at night of 17 degrees. It's crazy. So what else do we have on here? Explanation of ICF technology and benefits. I think we're seeing them here. The exterior walls are performing really well, and would have probably performed better with smaller windows.
And just ICF technology, for those that haven't been following, it's essentially a concrete form made out of foam on both sides, either side, filled with concrete, and then the forms stay.
Yeah.
So we have insulation on both the interior and the exterior of the wall, which is why these perform so well.
Yeah.
Structurally and, obviously for insulation factor as well. But this is one of the technologies that we've taken advantage of that we can essentially build for the same cost as stick frame house, wood frame house.
Yeah. And building faster, but the cost comparison is there, the pricing is lower, or the pricing is the same, if not lower. I mean, we've seen some situations where the ICF pricing would be lower than the standard stick-built pricing, especially with the tall wall concepts like we've been doing, where our walls are over 10 feet tall. That framing package for a tall wall is expensive on standard wood. So assuming you're going with a standard wall, then ICF should be competitive with stick-built. If you're going with a tall wall, then ICF should be.
Well, especially people considering, kind of a forever home, the long-term value and airtightness of these structures. I mean, it's just night and day with stick framing. I mean, you can hold heat, energy, costs are always going to remain low. So it's really a great advantage for people that want to build a home that's super efficient and comfortable,
quiet.
Well, and what I like to point out is that we don't really have a dog in this hunt because we frame. So we frame the interior walls. It just doesn't make sense to do standard, 2x6 framing of an exterior wall if you can do ICF.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, we've been receiving a lot of inquiries lately based on ICF, trying to build and provide us with their designs and modified designs and whatnot. So this is kind of one of the newest things that's becoming, especially in the Pacific Northwest. It's not as popular, so we're kind of bringing that to the market. But do we have anything else we want to talk about?
I don't know what this means. Someone asked outroad. Just contact info.
Anybody that's inquiring about building a home, or like I said, a forever home, or has a home design already that's for standard construction, can contact us on our website at MACNAK.com or info@MACNAK.com. And our designers can help modify those designs to accommodate ICF, so you get the benefits of that. And there may be even some cost savings in that. Yeah, and I wouldn't say that it needs to be your forever home. One benefit that we saw is when you're building with ICF, the value of the home is higher. You have less money going into labor, but you own a building that is worth more. So if you're renting or you're just planning on selling, there's also an argument to be made to build a higher quality home if it's going to cost you the same, with the assumption that if it's your home or somebody else's home and they're both the same square footage, but you have a home made out of concrete and foam that's got a 200-year wall, that you're going to be able to sell yours first, if not for more.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
And we're seeing a lot of people look at them too that are interested in rentals. They just want a low maintenance rental that is fireproof, windproof, and all that stuff. So we're building a 1,000 square foot 3.2, and then we've got the Rocky Bay 2,000 square foot 3.2 that we're trying to build those economically for, to allow people to look at it. 3-bedroom, 2-bath design for a starter home, or for a standard 3.2, 2,000 square foot home for your standard family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll be trickling out videos. What's the status on Rocky Bay? Because that'll be the next huge video series that we do. We're just finishing with permits, right?
Yeah, permits are all in. There's only just some minor comments that we've been addressing, but we should be rocking and rolling here within the next month or so.
Perfect. And
site development and
full video coverage of that. We're going to be looking at investing into some more time-lapse cameras that we can set up all at one time, so we'll have multiple angles of footage of that as well. Once we do that, we'll provide a lot more video and more detailed footage, I should say. But MACNAK.com or info@MACNAK.com. If you want to call us directly, it's area code 253-212-2378. Once again, MACNAK.com is probably the easiest place to find us and get more information. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well. We'll be posting more status updates and more videos like this as the time goes on. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, subscribe. Otherwise, leave a comment with any questions and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We appreciate it. Have a good day.